So it's early July today, and I'm standing along a long line of Miscanthus grass that we planted here in 2022. And so this line of switchgrass right here runs down along this road about 250 yards. You get to the far corner, and then it goes down the north line another 250 yards. So 500 yards of Miscanthus grass, and that was 5,000 rhizomes. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick nickel tour and give you an update on what this Miscanthus looks like. But most of it is over my head. And as you can see, as we get a little bit closer to these doggone walnut trees, right, we don't have much going on just because of the toxic drip edge. So this stuff right here, not too bad. It is filling in a little bit better. And then we get to where the walnut trees are, and there's just nothing. I mean, we got a couple of clumps here and there. Even the switchgrass right here didn't do all that well. And even the mare's tail is dying out a little bit from the Quinstar that I sprayed about a month ago. So stuff just struggles over here underneath the drip edge of these walnuts. But we are going to cut these walnuts down this winter. So the winter of 24-25, we may have to bring in some dirt here and build this up because this is really low. And you know, obviously you can see the road right there, and you know, these cars are going to be able to see into this field. Even though we got switchgrass here that's going to be eventually, you know, 8-9 feet tall, and then we got our strips of corn and sorghum out there. Deer are really going to be a lot more protected now, but still, we really want to have this screened off from the road. And you know, if deer want to bed out here in the switchgrass, which is kind of the goal, or at least create some great habitat for them, you know, we want them to feel comfortable and not have to worry about this road that's right there. So then again, you know, we get past the trees and look what we have. You know, we got Miscanthus that's well over my head. So good looking stuff. Now, I came in here I'd say about a month ago, and I sprayed Butarac 200. That's a form of 2,4-D. It kills weeds only. It does not kill grass. And I just did it with a hand wand on a ATV sprayer, and just sprayed it in here pretty heavily. And as you can see, the Miscanthus is doing well. It's not stressed or anything. I'm putting on some good inches. Whereas you look down in here, you can see a lot of those mare's tail and a bunch of other weeds are dying out. They're really getting pretty yellow. Anyway, here we go again, you know, no trees, and we got a lot of great looking Miscanthus. And again, this is 5 rows deep. So, yeah, you know, we had a failure on quite a bit of this Miscanthus the very first year, and then we had to come back and plug a lot of the bare spots with new rhizomes. And I would say probably about half of those took. You know, we get up here on the high spot, and again, this stuff is, it's way over my head. So, yeah, you can see we got some empty spots here. We do have some little ones that are starting to come up, but, you know, the weeds and the cool season grasses are coming in pretty good. But we're not going to deal with that this year. We'll see how this turns out by the end of this year, and we'll make a decision, and then we'll deal with it next year. So now we get to the corner, and we've got the line here now that goes along the north property line, and that's another 250 yards. So blind is down there on the end. And then what we're going to do now is we have our access trail is going to be behind this wall of Miscanthus, and that's how we're going to get past this food and into that blind. So, and whenever we do some of our tractor work, we're going to come in here from the road, come down through here, and then we were going to drive out there and then drive along the inside of the Miscanthus. But then we decided, you know what? Let's put our access on the outside of the Miscanthus, obviously, and then we'll be able to walk down here all the way to the blind down there. And then we had an old fence row with the old fence posts right here, and there's a lot of crap in this strip right there. But on the outside of that, between the old fence posts and the new fence posts, we planted another heavy dose of switchgrass. So this was planted, I believe, 15 pounds per acre. This is really going to be heavy, and you can see it's really coming in really well. We just absolutely do not want deer bedding along this fence row, because obviously we're going to be walking in right next to it over here. So are we still going to get deer bedding here along one of the fence rows? The new one or the old one? Yeah, I kind of think we will. We'll deal with that as we notice how they use it. So as we're sitting in that blind, we'll be able to see the deer, you know, coming out of the corn here to the north, and we'll be able to see whether or not deer are bedding in here as we walk to the blind. I'm sure at some point this year we're going to have deer busting out of here. You know, I mean, you look at some of these Miscanthus openings. So here we got a little opening in the Miscanthus, and they could easily bed right there, right? Because if you go through the Miscanthus and you get on the inside, well, then this is going to be switchgrass. But remember, this is planted really heavy, right? 10 pounds per acre until you get about 15 feet in, then it drops down to 5 pounds per acre. But I mean, you look at this strip right here, what a great place to lay right up against some Miscanthus wall and between the switchgrass. So are we going to have deer bedding in there? Yeah, we probably are. But you know what, we got to start somewhere, and it's a slow process. But I feel now, though, what we've got going on now is going to be much better, because now we can walk down through here between the Miscanthus and the switchgrass and be able to get to that blind without boogering up any deer that's in that field over there. So anyway, that's the plan. Kind of anxious to see how tall this stuff tops out at, and kind of curious too to see how well we'll be able to get in and out of that blind, because, you know, like I always say, access is everything. Your food plots are only as good as your access is in and out undetected. So anyway, I'm going to come back out here later again this year, and we're going to check on that new switchgrass over there. We're going to check on the sorghum. I really want to know how high this is going to top out at. So if you're interested in that and you want to see, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I'll have more videos coming out later this year.